Hey, look at that. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Vino Frankel podcast. Taste of Sculpterra's Vino Frankel sans Frankel today, because the podcast today has turned 18. This is the 18th episode, so it's all big and grown up now, and Paul is sending it off out into the world to be with other people and stuff since it's of legal age.
Frankel free.
Frankel free podcast zone today.
Frankel free, I like that.
Paul is in Mexico with his family and taking his one vacation for the year. And so he asked me to host, and I was like, I guess I could do that. And Paul's super organized. He always has a nice list of things for us to run through. So, which is good because I don't really know a whole lot about wine. I know this is supposed to be a wine podcast, and we are going to drink some wine. We've got some 23 mega folks. Lucky you guys are like experts compared to me, right?
Oh,
we got two guests today.
We're learning every day, Brian.
Every day.
Every day.
Good. So we got Donna Wolfe.
Hello.
Not a stranger to the podcast, and Patrick Patton, also not a stranger to the podcast.
Wine expert. I know both colors. There's red and white.
There's one in between too.
And pink.
The pink one. Don't forget about the pink one.
She's more advanced than me.
Yeah, two wines for novice drinkers, and then the third one, that's expert level, the third color.
Yes.
So I'm going to read from some of Paul's notes here because he put them down here. I assume he would like something from them. But we are going to taste today the 2023 Mega Focus and the 2022 Mega Focus. And we're even going to taste a non-alcoholic wine. How do you guys feel? But we'll talk about how you feel about that later. Just look forward to that. Paul mentions it's very hard to get away. I can only imagine that's pretty difficult for that guy.
I've known Paul for a long time, and honestly, Paul is one of the hardest workers out there. He's a smart worker, and it's much deserved that he has this vacation. So I'm happy for him and Paloma and Abraham that they get to go down there, and Abraham gets to go see Grandma down there too. So much deserved. So good for you, Paul.
That's awesome. I agree. I mean, the short time I've known him so far, every time I come down there, he is like, as soon as when I arrive, he's already there working, and then I head home and he's still working.
Yeah.
And that's not new. I was friends with him in high school, and I mean, even like freshman year, we'd go to the beach or whatever, and we didn't sit down and relax. He's wearing his work boots. He'd bring shovels. We're digging a hole. We're doing something because you can't, like, he doesn't relax, you know? And as I got older, after high school, if I wanted to hang out with Paul, I had to go work with him. I had to go to Sculpterra and just start working.
That makes sense.
That's how you hang out with Paul.
He mentioned last week on the podcast that for his 40th birthday, he's going to invite people, but in order to attend, you have to be willing to run the 5K. If you don't want to run the 5K, you can't come to the party.
For Paul. That sounds good.
Let's see. What else? What's going on in the vineyard and the winery? Roque just got back yesterday. Roque is such a sweet man.
Roque's been there for a long time.
Been there a long time. 17 years or something?
Yes, over 17 years.
Yeah.
When you see, when I drive to work and I see him, I'm always waving to him, and just such a nice guy.
Yeah. You can tell his heart is just like full of love. It's really cool. Grapevine pruning is happening. We talked about that a little bit last week, but we didn't really say, well, I learned a little bit about it and about why you do it, but there's definitely pruning. As we drove by, you're like, what happened? They're like,
it's a cordon style, which means it's a stalk, and then it turns into a T, and all the canes grow off of that. Well, they took off the T part, so I didn't realize they did that because I haven't been here in a couple days, and I went, oh my gosh! But it reminds me of when I prune my roses, and I can prune them really far down and they'll just come back up. So I'm assuming, like you said, it doesn't grow on wood that's been,
only grows on new wood.
New wood.
Yeah. The fruit. They're pruning the Grenache, the Primitivo, the Pinot Noir, the Syrah. Getting ready for February bottling coming up of, I believe it's the Viognier. It doesn't say on here. Maybe it says later, but yeah, preparing for February bottling and talking about Cha-Cha and taking care of Cha-Cha.
Who's feeding Cha-Cha?
Who's feeding Cha-Cha?
Cha-Cha is their cat there at the production site.
Cha-Cha, making sure that Cha-Cha gets out before everybody leaves and isn't just inside on her little throne. I guess Paul, even though he gives her a throne, he doesn't want her necessarily in there on the throne all night. So she's got to be outside before a certain time in the day.
Oh, got it.
I love that cat is so much part of the winery. It's pretty cool. All right, so we got a part 2 of the podcast. How many parts to this podcast are there?
We have
so many parts.
500 parts.
No, it's only 6. So wait, some of these are numbered 6, but there's like 17 sections to them. Okay.
I know.
So we got
Patrick.
Patrick is got some questions to be asked of him. I kind of want to answer a couple of these myself because there was one on there that I saw the question. I was like, ooh, I remember that very well. So I might have to answer that one too. But
So you're asking Patrick the questions?
I am. And first question for you, Patrick, is have you always enjoyed wine?
I don't remember when I was an infant if I enjoyed wine or not.
You had some though.
Grape juice box.
As far back as I can remember, yes. And I grew up in a house where, my dad would, hey, you want to taste some beer? Cool. Like, it wasn't that big a deal. So I don't have like the moment when I turned 21 and I tried it and have a memory of whether I liked it or not. I don't really remember when I first tried it, but I've always liked wine as far as I can remember.
I wonder if like the earliness of when you had the wine affects like whether or not when you can remember it.
Yeah, I think I kind of remember, as a kid being like more with beer. I think like why did grown-ups like this? I don't really get it, which I think is kind of the idea of giving kids. I do that with my kids too because I'd rather have them be like, no thanks, and then figure it out later when they're older.
Yeah.
But instead of like building it up as something big I can't wait till I'm old enough to get wasted,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I turned 21, that was like one of the first birthdays that I didn't drink. I was like, okay,
yeah,
we're done.
Yeah. So it's definitely a different approach, but that's kind of how I grew up, and I didn't really care that much as I, approached 21 in my high school years. And so that's kind of what I do with my kids. But yeah, I don't really remember the first time I drank wine. I don't think I ever didn't like it, but as a kid, it wasn't my favorite thing. But as I got older, I appreciated it a lot more.
Could you see yourself as a winemaker?
No, for sure not. I'm a lot more like artistic brained. I slap things together. Like I like cooking because I can throw whatever's in the fridge. I'll just throw something together and make it work, and that's fun. And if it's gonna taste different every time, but I can't bake because you have to be like precise with your measurements and follow a recipe, and I'm not good at that. So I think winemaking is a lot more like that. Like if I'm producing a song and I like to experiment and mess around, and unintended consequences are great for music, but not for winemaking
or baking
because you could kill somebody. Yeah, baking is I've never been good at that. I'm not good at following the recipe. I'm good at like throwing stuff together and making something interesting.
Yeah, I understand that too.
I don't think that I'd be a good winemaker. I'd love to hang out in the vineyard all day and
you appreciate it. You appreciate so much
sure.
What passion that Paul has in making wine. And I'm like you too. If I bake, I have to go by measurements, but I like throwing things in and being creative with it.
Yeah.
And you as a writer being creative, that makes sense.
Yep.
And a musician too.
That's more my realm.
Yeah.
That's where being weird and doing something different works, but it doesn't work with, you have to be a little more intentional with wine.
And beer making too.
Yep.
Same thing. Yep.
So you like being in the vineyard. Have you ever done vineyard photography?
Yeah, I have. So I used to do a lot of photography. I kind of retired the camera in 2020 when all the work just kind of disappeared. COVID pulled the rug out from under everybody. But I haven't really done photography since then. But when I was a professional photographer, I did a lot of vineyard stuff, video and photo. And that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed working out vineyard is a beautiful place to work, right?
Absolutely.
And especially when you're playing with light through the leaves, and every vineyard is different, and every depending on what time of day, there's all kinds of different things you could do, and depending on what you're filming, if you're filming like people, like the winemaker in the vineyard, or just the leaves themselves, or it's just fun to be creative with it, and you do it enough and you kind of get to know like the little intricacies of how can I make a really beautiful shot here, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
Sweet. I'm asking more questions. That's Donna's turn.
Oh, cool. Photography?
Well, it's funny because I was already thinking this. Like, we could do photography too.
Hey, I had the Canon AE1 camera, and I would go into the dark room and I would pray a lot to make sure that film would go into that canister. And for filters, we had this plastic thing in front of the camera that you slid on. So if you wanted an amber color, that's what we did. Am I dating myself? This was the 90s.
No, I still use, I like the A1's awesome.
Yeah.
And I still use those filters, but I tend to use them more for black and white photography for filtering out color.
That's what I mostly did was black and white. And I was telling him way back when, and I think it was 94 or 5, I won second place for the black and white for the New Times photography. And it was a young lady that I saw at the mall, and her eyes were just mesmerizing. So I put this beautiful dotted kind of shield over her face, and I took pictures of her, and her eyes just kind of came out. And I remember handing it in at New Times. This is before I worked for them, because I worked for them for 4 years. But before then, I handed it to them, and the guy goes, "Oh, this is good." And I'm like, I'm going to win, I think. Nice. But it was second place for black and white. It was really fun. So I appreciate anyone that's a photographer. I get it. I love composition. We have Artists of the Month. We have photographers that do that. So if you ever want to be Artist of the Month, let me know. I would love to have your work in there, or both of you guys. So I'm looking for 2027 right now. We are booked for 2026.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So it takes a year to get into the tasting room. Okay, ask your questions. Sorry.
Oh no, I think that was one. That was one of them somewhere. Yeah, local artist stuff. How can those artists get in touch with you? It's a long list already. So
how artists can get in touch with me is donnaw@sculpterra.com. That's the best way to get in touch with me, and also send me samples of your work. It does take a year to get in there, so please, just be patient, but it's worth it. But what you can do right away is we have a art show on springtime, which is April, and we also have one in September for the fall. So we want to invite all artists from our county to join that. So that's a best way for you to dip your toes in, as you would say. So that's a great way.
Now the outfits.
Okay.
The color is
My
awesome.
outfits.
Like you got like a candy, you're like a candy doctor right now.
Yeah,
like,
if you can, here's my pants. There you go. I love fashion, and I've always loved fashion, and I think it's an expression. I'm an artist too, and a musician. So how can you express yourself? You can do it through clothes, and women get to, and men too. I had a guy at the tasting room who looked at me and goes, "What is this? Because I really like it." I'm like, I got the necklace downtown. I got this at a thrift shop. So it's just really fun to express yourself with color, and it's just a fun thing. It's a fun thing to do. And
I agree. It is fun.
Yeah.
As a man, I don't have a problem like putting some color on every now and then.
Yeah.
It is literally for that reason to have fun. Yeah.
Just to have fun. It's just an expression. So yeah.
It's awesome.
And I do wear sweats at home.
Not out to Walmart or anything like that?
Nope.
I think I got you on the how local is local?
Local is San Luis Obispo County. So I want the whole county. I've got someone coming in next month who is from, I believe, Arroyo Grande. So it's wonderful to get people, all over from our area. It's nice. I get people from San Luis Obispo, Los Osos, Paso Robles, of course, Templeton. So anyone that's in our county, I would love to see the work. I need to fill up 2027, so please reach out to me.
Awesome.
donnaw@sculpterra.com. There you go.
Sweet. That's awesome.
All right. I get to ask you some questions, Brian.
All right.
Be prepared.
I want to answer one of the Patrick ones.
And none of them are these questions.
Sweet. You don't have to stick to the list. That's definitely, if you ask the questions, I'm gonna preempt it by answering the question I wanted to answer anyway that we asked Patrick about the wine, because it was when I saw the question, it just brought me back to this memory when I was 16, and my parents always had wine in their cabinet, so every now and then we'd take our own tastings, but it was a buddy's house across the street. They had this old box of wine. I think this was the first time actually was this old box of wine sitting on top of his fridge. And it had like sediment in the bottom and stuff. Like it was like, I don't know how old this box was. Like the box was falling apart. And me and a buddy, like...
You tasted it?
We didn't just taste it. We drank it.
You drank?
I don't think it was good, but we drank it.
Oh my gosh.
He drank a lot more than I did. And we skated back across town past the high school. And I remember he was just toast. He hit like a little... We were on skateboards. And he hit a little crack and fell. And I like tried to help him out. And he got back up and he went back to grab his skateboard. And then went and hit the same exact crack and fell and hit the same exact spot. And I was trying to I was with him. He was Irish and he usually could handle way more than I could. But this particular day, it was just like, I was dragging him to get to our buddy Scott's house. And we were going past the high school right when it was getting out. And he was just falling. And I was like, I'm sorry, Ben. I ditched him. I was like, I can't be here with you in front of the high school right now, dude. He did eventually make it to Scott's house, and his mom came out and he puked all over the driveway, and his mom came out and hosed him off and said that Scott was not allowed to hang out with Ben. I don't think he could hang out with Ben for years after that. Okay, sorry. I that story was, I thought about it today. I was like, oh yeah. Wine brings back
I got
memories.
some stories too.
You said high school. Is that Paso High?
No, I grew up in the Bay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask questions to you, Brian.
Ask me questions.
You are a passionate photographer. How did you get started in that field of photography?
I first picked up a camera when I was a little kid. I remember wishing, having this thought, I wish I could just blink my eyes and take pictures like that, which I think we're getting close to that now in 2026. Yeah.
Meta glasses.
Yeah. Where you get the little chip in your brain right there.
That's next year.
So I did have that. And then my parents got me this little film camera when I was 7. I've still got some of the pictures I took, camping trips with my cousin. I'd set up little fake dinosaurs and take little dioramas of little scenes I set up and whatnot.
That's cute.
And then I took pictures here and there.
How old were you?
I was 7 when I first.
Okay.
Was that camera 7? Yeah, 7 years old. But then I didn't really do anything with it throughout most of teenage years or anything like that. But when one of my honeymoon with my wife, we went to the Philippines as part of it. We had a family part of the honeymoon and a just me and her part of the honeymoon. And the family part
is essential.
Yeah. Have the part without everybody else.
I kind of went through that too.
Yeah. But for the family part, we went to the Philippines because my mom's her family is from there. So we were visiting out there, and my uncle, who I grew up with, because he was about 10 years old. He actually went to SLO. Actually, he went to Cal Poly. I forgot about that. My uncle Jane. He went to he was born in the Philippines, came here, went to school here, and moved back to the Philippines when I was 10 years old, and then never came back to the States after that. But so we saw him when we were out there, and he was way into photography, doing cave photography for the government out there,
wow.
Mapping out caves for the president or whatever.
Did it inspire you?
It did. Well, just because he's always into things. He's always teaching. He taught me how to tie a bunch of knots while I was out there, and he's just gets way into things and just nerds out. And you can't help but nerd out with him on these things. And photography was one of them. So he taught me how to use a camera out there. And then so much so that when I got back to Hawaii after, I took a course at UH on basics of photography and learned about exposure and had all these assignments to, play with the shutter speed and how that affects it, and play with the aperture and how that affects, the depth of field, and just all these different little things. Ooh. And I ended up taking a bunch of pictures and printing them on metal and going down to Aloha Marketplace and on the weekends and just sitting there with a booth, all my prints on metal.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. That's a great start. Okay, so more questions. Who are your favorite people to photograph at Sculpterra? And please don't say me, because I know.
well, I mean, you would be if I saw you more often, maybe with the camera, because especially with the colors and it's a good look.
You gotta get Kathleen. Kathleen Bentley her style is amazing. I like my style, but her style is amazing.
We should have a photo shoot sometime, you and her.
We should. Yeah, it'd be fun.
That would be awesome.
Get Darren in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun too.
His wife can sew. And she's an amazing, and he gets his vest, that little.
She sews up for him?
Oh, she makes his outfits, and these uniforms, or not uniforms, these outfits he wears are just pristine.
Oh yeah, we should do a fashion photo shoot sometime with the tasting room.
Dude,
I'm into it.
Okay.
I know Paul mentioned it Ernesto on there. He's like, from the first moment I got there, he's like, make sure you get Ernesto. He's super like, he's like the most photogenic. Like he says it, Paul does like repeat things about people. He'll say, Ernesto, our most photogenic guy.
He titles him.
He's like Michael Scott. Brian's the hottest in the office.
Which I agree. He does have a good look. But I've definitely got Paul in front of the camera more than anybody in the last few months. And I actually really like doing video of Paul. It's a lot of fun to edit, watch it back. And like, I like capturing his mannerisms. And like, there's one face that he made at the end of one of the shorts where he just like did this like kind of half smile and like went, he likes to just go say, Movedra. There's this way he actually used it. He created his own Instagram page recently, and he actually used a screenshot of the end of that video where he's doing that look as his profile picture.
I love that.
Yeah, and it reminds me of I don't remember the old Mentos commercials, like where somebody would be like,
freeze frame at the end.
Yeah, freeze frame at the end, right? Or somebody like runs their car over or like, get in car accident and they hand out them, but it's okay, I got Mentos. It's like that face.
I do have to tell you are doing so great on the social media because
Agreed.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So I have to tell you, on those shorts that you do and the videos, I think that it's fabulous what he's doing. So keep going. We love it. And more ideas. And are you open to more ideas?
Oh, yeah.
Things like
absolutely. And there's a lot more facets to the stuff that, Paul has me doing. But those are my favorite parts, like getting to do the Instagram stories and stuff. Like, I would be fine doing those all. I know that's not, the whole job isn't just doing that all day long. I know. But I could do that all day long. And it would be fine with me.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. All right. So, does Cha-Cha like you, the cat?
I gave her space. I raised a couple of cats a long time ago. And I'm not really a cat person, but I turn cats into dogs, kind of is what happens. The last time I had pet cats, I had them fetching a ball, and they would run with me through the forest up in Washington State. And it was, they were dogs. Yeah. But yeah, one day she came over. I just like, as I gave her space, I was like, "Yep, I see you, cat. I'm not going to approach you."
You're not allergic, right?
I'm not allergic. No.
Okay.
So that's not an issue. My wife is, but I'm not.
Yes, you can't have a cat even if you wanted to.
Right, exactly. But one day she came over and just like sat on my camera bag and just like hung out next to me, and then I put my hand out, let her approach me, and I was a little worried because I started like this one truck driver came in and said he got attacked by the dog, and I guess it was actually the dog, like kind of was trying to run him off, but I thought he was referring to Cha-Cha as the dog. Like, your dog, like your attack dog got me, and I was like, I assumed it's got to be Cha-Cha because I see her go at Paul sometimes.
Cats will attack people sometimes.
I had that same buddy Ben. He had this cat that just was Watson. This is a black cat with yellow eyes. It just was terrible. It's like, she's just like trying. So I'm always like, all right, watch out. It's a cat. It might, try to kill you.
We have cats and dogs, and I train the dogs to not interfere with the cats, and they just hang out. So it's you get to both worlds, which is great.
Yeah, I picked her up by the scruff one time because the big thing was Paul was like, okay, when I'm gone, we have to get her out of the office, by a certain time. Yeah. So I wanted to see if I could do it. At that point, she had already made friends with me. We'd come over, she sat on my lap and like petting her. So yeah, she
get
likes
the
me.
Shaking treats.
Yeah, that could work. I just pick her up now. She's fine. Yeah, once you get to a certain level, I think with the cat, and they know your smell and they know who you are, they're like, all right, this guy's not gonna. Well, I don't know why they decide to attack people randomly. It does happen with cats.
Well, they protect. Like, they protect them. Also. Like,
you'd be like petting them up, and then all of a sudden they just reach around like, I'm done.
Watch their tail. If their tail's moving really fast, they're not happy. But if it's super slow and low, they're happy.
All right.
So
good advice.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
World of wine.
Wait.
Oh, okay. You're not only.
All right.
For you, dude. That's fine.
Could you see yourself as a winemaker? Let's say we go back 20 years. Could you go down that road of being a winemaker?
I mean,
if the opportunities were there for you. I
think that it would be possible. I got really into whiskey. I get really into a lot of things, and then I'll like go full nerd on them. Yeah. Like, I didn't drink coffee growing up, and then when I started drinking coffee, I learned about like everything you can
Everything
know
about coffee.
And now my water is 188 degrees every morning. It's like all these little
I'm
specifics.
like 205.
20.2 grams ground out at a size 9. And then, though seeing like the stuff that Paul does, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could be. I think it would be possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the patience to like wait for stuff to age like that and then taste it later. Like get into things, and I want to see results too quickly, I think.
I'm the same way, and I think all of us are the same ways because we're both artists, and like you said, with Instagram and with all these things that you can do, you can see it like that. And same with photography, with music, with cooking, you see it right away, the results. And that's what I love, that you can see things right away and get the results quicker.
Yeah. I had a segment called Music Monday on one of my YouTube channels for a bit, and it was on Monday, I would write the song, record the song, and make a music video for it. And by the end of the day, Monday, we're done. So
I feel so good.
It's because it's done. Yeah, it's
accomplished it.
I understand that putting extra time into projects is a thing, and it yields great results. But I think that I don't have the patience for some of those long-term projects.
So we appreciate that. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Paul, for your patience and doing a wonderful job making wine. There you go.
Speaking of Paul and wine, his next segment here is wine trends. And 2026 wine trends. It's dry January right now is a thing that people do, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that there would be a market for non-alcoholic wine. Mm-hmm. I've done it with whiskey before. I had a tasting podcast with a buddy for whiskey, and we tried to get some of that non-alcoholic whiskey. And it was just like,
what's it taste like?
Please no. It tastes like I used to see a naturopath sometimes in Hawaii, and she would give us these different medicines that had like different herbs blended into them with like tinctures and whatnot that they used alcohol to extract, densities from these different herbs, and it tastes kind of like a tincture, the fake whiskey, and it's not good. I think if you added it to a cocktail, maybe it could work out. I could see that working and being okay.
Yeah.
But if you're just trying to have like a glass neat, it's like, please, let's not do this.
It wasn't meant to be.
I've never actually had the non-alcoholic wine, but I'm imagining that. I hope it's better. I would hope that it's better. That it's not like, because whiskey is a whole different animal than wine. Wine has a lot more fruit notes and stuff. So
I've had a few people at the wine shop because you get people who visit who are non-alcoholic drinkers, and they've asked me. Not a lot, but they've asked me if we had non-alcoholic wines. I'm like, well, we have a juice box in the refrigerator. That's how close we can get. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting tasting this.
Yeah, I understand the reason for it. Like, if you're going out with some friends and whatnot, and you maybe have like a history with alcohol, you don't want to, do that, but you still want to be able to hang out with your people. I understand the market for it and the reasons behind just having something like that, so you can go out and like drink wine with your friends, but not, end up in a rehab facility or something. That makes sense.
Yeah, and then also, too, people are on medications or they've had something with their health and they still want to enjoy the culture of the wine world. So this might be a great option for them.
Yeah. Although I would caution, like if you're thinking about doing that, like non-alcoholic wine does often have a trace, because Paul's got these things about how it's made here.
I saw that.
Like the fermentation, they still ferment the grapes and then like remove it through low pressure evaporation things, or like some kind of centrifuge to pull out the alcohol part, or just, I don't know what the other process is, on here somewhere. But it still has that trace amount of alcohol, and that it can trigger, like if you have a problem with alcohol and you're not able to, because I had a brother-in-law that had that same situation. Like he couldn't just have a sip of anything because it would just like set him off on like a bender, So that sometimes that was something to warn somebody that has that issue and is looking to dive into a non-alcoholic thing, that trace amount could like kick something off your gut bacteria. It's like, oh yep, that's what we wanted. Go get more, please.
Is there any winery in this area that is making non-alcoholic wines?
I can't speak to that. I don't know if there are. This particular one is actually from Italy, northern Italy. So I don't know if anybody makes it locally. This is the one that Paul picked up from the store last week.
That'd be interesting. If anybody out there is making a non-alcoholic wines, can you just send it to Donna W at sculpterra.com, or Brian, what is your email address?
Just Brian.
Brian at sculpterra.com.
Brian with an I.
Brian with an I, not a Y, an I. Okay. Don't piss him off.
Brian with a Y is just Ryan with a B is what that is. Non-alcoholic wine. I think Paul had an opinion on here that he wanted us to share about his opinion. Maybe not. Maybe he didn't.
Where are we?
There was I think his opinion was don't do it. Just
Yeah.
it was just drink grape juice.
There's some great grape juices out there.
So we got this section now that Paul wanted us to nerd on photography. We discussed earlier that maybe we did some photography nerding a little bit.
Yeah.
We could nerd on photography, or we could nerd on music. I think that I like the music. We've done some mild photography nerding already.
I can talk about a little bit about music if you guys want. I started playing music when I was 11 years old. I begged my dad for a guitar. At first, I begged for a piano. He's like, no. How about a clarinet? No. How about a guitar? Yes. So I got my first guitar when I was 11. I had a best friend named Jeannie. She's passed away, but I wrote her a song called The Seed. It's about how friendship grows. So that was my first time with music, and I loved playing the guitar because you could bring it around with you. You could go to the beach. You could
Self-accompaniment.
Yeah, and I would just look at other people, what they were playing, and I'd go, teach me that. So when I was like 12 and 13, I'd be like, teach me that chord. So they would teach me, and then I finally took a formal class in 6th grade. And then the guitar stayed under my bed for 2 years, and then I took it out and said, I could just write my own songs. Because people are like, hey, can you sing this? I'm like, I'll just write my own. And so I started writing, and I've done over 100 songs.
That's a lot.
I don't perform like I used to. Last time I performed was in 2011. My husband is a performer. He's a singer-songwriter just like I am. And we used to have groups called SOS, where if people wanted to work on some songs, so let's say all three of us have one song that we just can't quite finish, or we just need a little help. You would present your song, and then we would go over it going, hey, I have an idea for you. Why don't you extend this part and add this D over here? And so we did that, and then the next class or next get-together, we would actually hear your song.
SOS, save our song.
Yeah, or just SOS's help.
Right.
Please. Yeah.
So we'll save our ship.
Yeah.
Save our song. It works.
Save our song. So that's how that all started. But tell me how did you get started with music?
My first memory of playing music is beating on my mom's guitar when I was like 2. She had to just sit down and just like play it like a drum, just hit the strings and made it super cool. And I was just ding, 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 ding. And my mom played. So there was always a piano in the house, and she would like sing folk songs and play guitar and stuff. And I wanted to do that too. And she's like, okay, if you're going to be making noise on the piano, we're not just going to bang on it. So when I was 7, she put me in piano lessons, and I stayed with that till I learned how to read music and play enough to do recitals and whatnot, on piano.
Oh, wow.
And then I got into like horn instruments in the band. It was funny, the instrument flow that you mentioned, loved like piano, no, clarinet, no. I played clarinet, and I played violin, and I played an instrument called the euphonium all the way from middle school through high school.
Oh, wow.
And then finally got guitar in the middle of high school, like 16 years old, picked up like actually playing the guitar the way you're supposed to, and a drum set and everything. And I got way into that. And my dad, I wanted an electric guitar. My mom's guitar, you had to like lift weights to like fret the strings. It was like, okay, G chord.
Is this a steel string?
Steel string acoustic, yeah, but just
I started on
old.
nylon.
Yeah, the nylon's a little easier on your fingers.
Softer.
This one was not. This one was like you had like metal for fingertips by the time you were done playing it.
Get those calluses going.
Yeah, calluses. But then I played on an electric guitar, and I was like, oh, this is what I want. And my dad made me a deal that if I learned how to play a Joe Satriani song, he rented me a guitar for a month. He said, if you learn a Satriani song, I'll buy you a guitar. And I was like, I didn't leave my room. I was like, we're learning this song.
I like your dad.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He got me into a lot of
wonderful.
music too, like Bob Marley to AC/DC, like all the whole spectrum of music. My dad was into all of it, Greek music, like whatever.
Wow.
And then I ended up playing professionally in a band for like 10 years. I toured, like we were based out of Hawaii. We toured like Western U.S. and
What was the band called?
There was a couple. There was Free Sound, Guidance Band, and I played with this group called Warsaw Poland Brothers too for a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you still playing music with people right now?
Yeah, we were just in Watts this weekend. Watts and Skid Row with our. We took our high school students down there for there's 60 high school students, and I got some of them leading worship on Sunday for the Watts Powerhouse Church. So I helped kids I'll be doing that today. I'll be going to church right after this and helping the kids get up and lead their peers in.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Music,
That is great. That was my first place I sang was at church.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
they gave me a microphone. I'm like, I'm in.
I've got a couple. One of the students this week. It was his first time leading a song, and he led it for their congregation down there in Watts. I was pretty stoked.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, pretty cool to see these kids step in and it can be a nerve-wracking thing to go and perform in front of people. I was very introverted growing up. I didn't when I played in a band, I was behind the drums.
Were you
so I could
that,
hide.
Patrick? Introverted and
yeah, but just playing in front of people a lot, kind of, the more you do it, the more you get used to it. So,
yeah,
I think I initially was. I'm not really anymore.
Yeah, when I would actually, I had a 5-piece band at one time, and I remember, getting nervous, and I'm like, why did I pick to do this? I'm like sweating. But once the first song comes out, you're in. You're just like, oh, this is why I'm here. Yeah. And then,
how's your musical journey?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
I started out in, I think, 7th grade. They started offering 0-period guitar lessons, and I never played any music or anything. And my mom had a little nylon string guitar, and so I took that and went and just absolutely loved it. And I felt like, wow, I'm actually kind of a natural at this. I felt really like I was progressing really quickly, and just loved it. So I started writing songs. Before I knew it, I was playing with this guy right here in a band in our freshman year of high school, and we played all through high school and after actually. And first it was like pop punk, and then kind of post punk, more like Deftones, Thrice kind of stuff, and then after high school we started a record label with local bands and would record and produce their stuff at Paul's. The apartment on the side of his house that his grandpa used to stay in when he'd visit. And when he wasn't there, it was our recording studio. And so, we started touring. We toured quite a bit in different bands. And, I still produce music and record. It looks a little different now because I feel like the whole landscape of music has changed so much. You don't really see local bands anymore. It's just gone. Once in a while, I was at farmer's market a few months ago and we saw these 4 kids, just high school kids, and they were playing kind of punk style music. Just it was so refreshing just to see a couple guitars and a bass and a drum set. It's just making music, you don't see that much anymore. And and at my age, it's I don't have this. We tried a few years ago to get the band back together. We had one practice, and I think all of us were like, "Man, it's 10 o'clock and it's dark, and I'm tired, and I gotta all this loading in and loading out, man." So, and then different schedules. So now I just sit in my on my computer with my little microKORG and produce stuff by myself. It's a lot easier. So
I know. I remember when we had a 5-piece band, and then all of a sudden it was a 3-piece, and then now it's just a 2-piece.
Yeah.
And when my husband plays, I'll sing a couple songs that I wrote, and he'll accompany. So it's still a part of us. So it's wonderful. But I have to tell you, there are local bands that are out there, and they play at Sculpterra.
I played in a local band with one of the guys. That was a cool thing. I walked up to the tasting room one day, I saw him on one of the posts first. But John, I played in a band with John back in the day. It was this reggae band. The 2 main songwriters, the lead singer and the bass player were just fresh out of high school, early college, I guess. And we played some shows around the county, and then even travel outside the county a little bit. But John played guitar in that group for a little bit, so it was cool. I walked up, I was like, John.
Yeah. So there's Patrick Pearson's playing once a month there, and I played with him for 8 years. And he's in Resignation. He's in a lot of other bands. So he has a school, so he's going to be bringing in new players when he plays, so to put his students out there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I thought that's fantastic. And my husband has a guitar that he's going to donate to Pat Pearson's group. So Pat's going to pick a particular person to give that guitar to.
Good job on that sentence. I probably picked a pepper.
But anyway, we do have local bands at Sculpterra, and I do coordinate the music. So if you guys have a local band out there, we are putting in, we always have Joy Bonner 3 times on Sundays. We have Adam Levine in the Saturday afternoon live band, and we have Pet Pearson Project, and we are putting in Doyle Davis, and we have new people coming in. So please like our Sculpterra page, join, subscribe to the Sculpterra Facebook page, and also our Instagram. So that's one thing that we really love doing, and I am always open to hearing great music because I know what it's like out there. I know what it's like, being a musician. And, I was telling Pat, Pat goes, I just remember this one time, Donna, we were playing in San Luis at a restaurant. And there was nobody there. And you said, this is for the cook.
That's awesome.
He's like, this is for you.
Dedicated. That made me flash back to a gig we played one time in Port Townsend, Washington, where this is for the chairs.
We all have, and, even those kind of days, I was like, this is great practice.
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, Frog and Peach downtown, I played on a Thursday night. That was crazy.
that was one of our first gigs when we were touring. Actually, before I ever lived out here, we played at Frog and Peach one night as a touring band. I remember being a little nuts.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the early 2000s. I was playing there, and Darrell Voss played with me. He's a great drummer. Dylan Johnson, great bass player. He's played with me before. So it's really wonderful to see all these great musicians out there. There are so many talented musicians out there. So I'm so thankful and grateful to have them come into Sculpterra. It's wonderful.
All right, to close out our music segment, I want to know, and this is probably a big ask, but number one favorite concert that you've ever attended of all time. I know that's a hard question.
The very first one came into my mind. It was 1982. Were you born yet?
I was.
Were you born yet?
82?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, he was not born. But it was Heart. I went and saw Heart, the 2 sisters, and they inspired me because I saw all of the one sister has all the guitars. I still have the T-shirt. It says the Heart Tour 1980. So I was 15 when I saw that. And when I saw all her guitars and her sister just sing, wow. That was at the San Diego Sports Arena at the time.
Those girls rock. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Her one sister can play the guitar like nobody. I was like, she could play that, I could play it. But she's way, way, way better. How about you?
Man, I don't know. I'm torn. There's one that was really cool is what's the name of the festival? I can't remember the name of the festival. It was in Golden Gate Park, and Arcade Fire headlined one night, and that was a pretty epic show as far as just the production of it and just the theme of that album that had just come out, the suburbs and the wilderness downtown. So you're in Golden Gate Park. It was just a very magical moment, and the visuals with all the lighted balls flying through the audience, and it was really cool. But I think I still would choose just a simple, the Majestic Ventura Theater, Thrice, right after the Artist in the Ambulance came out. And they played a lot of songs from my favorite album, which is the one before that, The Illusion of Safety, and played through all their songs on Artist in the Ambulance. So that was just a fun, crazy rock show.
Wow.
And I think that was my favorite.
That's cool. How about you?
I've got
Brian?
one that's just after I went to it, I was like, I'm just not going to try and beat this concert ever in life. I do want to give you gave a little shout out. I want to give a 3-piece shout out to the only 3 concerts that I ever wept at before worship music was a thing in my life. But it was a Beach Boys, Alan Jackson, and Mike Love band. But those I have to give those.
What was the last one?
Mike Love. He's a reggae artist out of Hawaii.
Not Beach Boys, Mike Love?
Not Beach Boys, okay. Although Beach Boys was the second tear jerking moment for me. But the ultimate concert was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert, 25th anniversary Rock and Roll Fame concert at Madison Square Garden. It was a 2-night concert, and like Tom Hanks hosted both nights. And it was just like headline. I remember when I first saw that it was happening. I was at a buddy's house, and he had a Rolling Stone magazine sitting on his table, and it had this lineup of like, you know, the headliners. And I was like, I've never been to New York, and this looks epic. And like, it just made it work, like a 2-week trip with the wife, and it was unbelievable. I mean, every headliner that was on that list brought up like 2 or 3 equally epic artists to play with them, like B.B. King brought up Smokey Robinson and Sting, and like Metallica brought up Ray Davies from the Kinks and Ozzy, and like there was a moment at the end of the second night where it was like E Street Band and Bruce Springsteen Band on stage with Black Eyed Peas, and I went into Gimme Shelter and Mick Jagger started out on stage. So it was just like, by the end of the second night, I was just like, okay, we're not going to try and top this one. We're just going to write it off as like, this is the most epic concert you'll ever attend in your life, and just
oh man, that's there. Great.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
So I have no intentions of trying to overcome that night.
No, we can top that.
No.
Yeah.
All right, music. That was awesome. Events that are coming up at Sculpterra. That's our next thing. I know Miguel's got some flyers over there for you guys to look at while I read off some of the information. The open house party coming up on February 21st and 22nd should be awesome. There's a wonderful menu for to look at there.
It's a Saturday and Sunday. Club members can go online at sculpterra.com and get their tickets. They are complimentary to club members, and for guests, I believe is it $25?
Yeah, $25
for guests. So if you go online to sculpterra.com and go under events, you can click on that and it'll take you right there.
Catering by Ryan Swarthout. Look at that menu. That
I know.
amazing.
It's a really fun day. I mean, it's relaxing. I've worked it before, and Paul's usually out there pouring a special wine, or Darren's out there, and they check in, they get their glass, there's food, and then there's wine at the second gazebo. It's just a really fun event for all the club members. You know, it's great.
It sounds awesome. And then after that, even just the next weekend actually is the blending party. I've heard pretty cool things about it. That also has an epic menu that I don't know if that's advertised to him. Well, I know that's on the website.
Yep.
But man, I would go just for the food, let alone the fact that you get to learn how to, let alone you get to blend.
Who's eating all the appetizers? Brian is.
You get to blend your own wine. That sounds like fun, to have like somebody as skilled at making wine as Paul, like guiding you along how to blend wines and like what they look for, and then you get to have your own bottle at the end of it.
Yes.
Like, and the winning group that creates the best wine that gets tasted out of the whole thing, I guess, get their own label.
Yep.
And stuff. That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing, and also gives an personal experience of what it takes to make blended wines. You know, because a lot of people go, how do they do it? You know, do they add a little bit of this and a little bit of that? Yeah, they do it that way. So, and it's also tasting it and making sure it's the right taste. So it also gives you an appreciation of what a winemaker does, especially Paul, about doing his blends, because our blends are very popular.
Yeah. And then almost 1 month after that, during ZinFest weekend, is going to be the Taste and Tour event. In the past, it's been called the Progressive Wine Tasting. Decided to go with a different name. I think Paloma just really didn't like progressive, and then we all kind of agreed, like, progressive wine tasting. We'll go with Taste and Tour. So you get to...
The tasting tour sounds better.
Taste and Tour, yeah. There was a couple of names we threw out, and maybe we'll change it even in future years. But right now, this year, March 21st, it's Taste and Tour. And that means you have 4 stations, and there are 4 different tickets you can buy for different 45-minute segments. And you show up and you start at the first station, and you basically go to 4 different sculpture stations around the winery, and you'll pair up a certain food with a certain wine. And so the thing I love about this is that you get to wander through the garden. Like we did the tasting at Manny's last week, and it was awesome. It was really good, and I got to sit with Pastor Gus, and it was such a great time. But I think if there was a way to top that experience, it would be like after you taste whatever you tasted there, to get to like not just change your, like, cleanse your palate, like your food palate and your nose palate, but like your actual physical palate. Like, we're gonna take a little walk over here now, and then be here in this space for the next.
I did that next to the sculpture of the Gentle Giant, with the caterer girl. We had a great time.
Oh, yeah, you poured for it?
Yeah, I poured for it, and I would tell them about the sculpture. I'm like, this is 8 tons of granite. The tusk is 80 pounds. So it was really fun to just talk about the sculptures and then also the food and the wine. So they really had a great experience. And then we'd go, oh, your next station's right over there.
Yeah, I love the changing location thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
back in the day, we used to do a musical tour like that.
I remember that.
One of us would stand next to each statue and like play an instrument, and like whatever the vibe of that statue was to me, I'd play. And then
I was there when you did that.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
We didn't know each other, but that was way back when.
Was that like 2007, 2008?
Yeah.
Did they pair that with the wine tasting? Because that would be even more epic.
That was right when we opened.
Yeah, right at the beginning. And I don't think there was wine involved with like at each statue, but there's obviously wine involved, but not like
people would walk by and all of a sudden you see the guitars going, and it was really cool.
And then at the end, after, like we'd all meet up at the end and play one big song together or something.
I think we should do that again.
I'm down.
That sounds
Let's
awesome.
talk to Paul about it.
I love that. Well,
yeah.
Pay attention to the Instagram and the Facebook and the website for upcoming cool events like that getting added, and all the other events. There's a new event just got announced, a winemaker dinner at Templeton Pizza and Greek Food in August. So that's plenty of warning for that one. Greek food.
More details and menu to come.
Yeah, this menu's excitement. The menus alone get me. Ooh, maybe I should try and make it to that. This next section sounds like super fun. The TMI, Paul's TMI information section.
So you guys know him a little. Well, I've known Paul for a long time, but you've known him.
I think Patrick's probably known him the longest.
Yeah, so let's. Patrick, what's his wackiness?
I met him in 2000. And in high school, Paul was it was funny because me and my friend Kevin, it was kind of just the three of us for most of high school. We'd just hang out together. And me and Kevin would just be hanging out at nutrition, which was like the 10-15 minute block that wasn't lunch, or at lunch, and we'd be hanging out and the bell would ring and we'd still be hanging out and talking, kind of like slowly getting to our class. But Paul would be gone like 5 minutes before the bell rang. So that was just normal. We were just used to like, where'd Paul go? Oh, he disappeared. I guess it's like 5 minutes till the bell rings.
Wait, to start class or to finish class?
He had to get to class. So he, which, we made fun of him at the time, but it's kind of funny because I always talk to my kids about like, Paul and my wife too are both really good examples of people who like it. Well, let me back up. So for me in school, everything came really easy to me. And I was pretty I was pretty sharp and would pass tests, A+, A+, A+. And that wasn't very good for developing study habits because I didn't have to study. So when the material got harder, I started getting worse grades, and I just started, now I'm angry. Now I'm like slacking off. Now I don't care anymore. Whereas like my wife and Paul, it wasn't as natural to them, but both of them developed really good study habits and worked really hard and got better grades than me in high school. Did a lot better in a lot of areas. And then, out of high school and into the real world, that translated into work ethic. Mm-hmm. And those are two people that I admire so much. So Paul is one of those I'm always pointing my kids to, like, look at Paul. Like he, things weren't quite as natural to him and easy as for him, but he worked hard. He figured it out. He got better. And man, now he's just like one of the most admirable people that I know. Yeah. And so that's kind of my TMI, is just like, a little bit of like, okay, he was a nerd, and getting to class on time, but look at what he's doing now. He's total success and works very hard, harder than anybody I know. So, and so him and my wife are examples of that. People I really admire for their work ethic.
That's wonderful. And with Paul, I met him, I was there the day they opened, and Paul put me behind the bar. And I remember it was by the bathrooms behind the bar, and I didn't know anything about the wines. So Kathy, his mom, was in the back doing the dishes, the classes, because they invited the whole town to come to Sculpterra and taste some wines. I think it was free back then. And so Paul put me behind the bar, and I was scared, but I poured. He had the radio down there, so I couldn't hear anybody. So I would always turn down the radio, and he'd come by and turn it back up. And then I remember when Paul fell in love with Marta. And he talked to me about her and how wonderful she was. We'd be in the kitchen doing glasses. And so it was fun to see Paul, fall in love with this wonderful girl. And he married her. We went to their wedding. We had such a great time. It was such a wonderful wedding. And wackiness, I remember we would do the dishes and he would tap his foot, doot, 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 while we were cleaning the glasses. And he would sing to me in the morning. He'd be all, Donna. So, coffee with Donna. So it was always fun to hang out with Paul. One thing about Paul, like you said, Patrick, his work ethic is very high, but he's also very happy. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate that Paul's always a happy person. He's always open. And that's a wonderful thing to have that combination. So, yeah.
Yeah. I've only known him for a few months now, but I can't work with people that are negative all the time. I can tolerate it, but if I don't have to, I won't. So he definitely, like you said, he's not that type of person at all.
No.
It's just like, I love the way that he the ways he sees people, as we talk about people, like somebody will call or and he has these characters in his head of how people are, but as I look at them, that's actually how the person is. He sees people in ways that they are, and recognizes their traits that make them different from other people, and he has them there and can describe them quickly. And so I look forward to meeting people that I haven't yet that he's told me about, because I'm like, oh, sweet, that's probably how they are, and I want to see how accurate you are again. and I just it just happens that we get along pretty well and agree on a lot of things. When we're talking at work, we sit side by side most of the day. So there's just been plenty of moments where he'll bring something up and yeah, obviously that's how people should think about that, right? Why? Yeah. That's common sense, right? But no, it's not. It's not always, but it's yeah, it is. It is actually common sense for people to think like us, I guess.
Yes. And he always stays positive with his customers, with the wine club members. I mean, he's pretty positive and just outgoing.
Yeah, and that's
with
just
them.
his outlook. That's just naturally the way he is. He's just he's a bright light. He's just very positive. He sees all the positive in everybody he meets, and Out of Control Frankel. That was his nickname. When he was drumming behind the drum set, he was Out of Control Frankel.
Out of Control Frankel. I
love too that he lets me put in his wackiness is my favorite part. We were talking about favorite person to photograph, edit, whatever. He lets me put in the wackiness. I love pulling out the little wacky things that when we're warming up, we're not necessarily recording yet.
Yeah.
And those are some of my favorite moments to throw into the very end of the Christmas Instagram post to highlight the Christmas party. Before we even started, and he's far off in the shot, and he's just getting ready because he knows we're about to record, and he's jumping up and down. He's going, excited, pump up the jams. I was yes. I just took that, put it at the very end of the video.
And hilarious.
He's not oh, don't put that in. He's just
no.
Just lets me. Yeah.
He used to say, well, okay, I'm not going to say that, but he's a great example of somebody who pursues excellence, and he wants everything to be excellent, but he's not going to worry about the things that don't go right.
Yeah.
He's not going to sweat it, and I think that's a really good balance to have.
That is.
Totally. He's definitely somebody I have always looked up to.
Yeah,
a good friend too.
Well, Paul, you said for us to go easy on you, dude. I think
we went easy.
We went the opposite direction.
Yeah, you can't really roast Paul.
I think you could, and he would just roast himself with you. Animals. It's time for the animals section of the podcast. I think we have time, right? Or should we move straight to the wine?
Yeah, we can do it.
We can? Okay. Well, it's mountain lions. Mountain lions are the animal, but I don't hardly know anything about a mountain lion, but we do have pictures of them at least. I know that look at them. They're beautiful. I've never actually seen one in the wild.
I have not either.
Which is a real bummer.
Probably don't want to.
That's probably fair. Yeah, I say it's a bummer, right? Because I'm well, maybe if I had met one, it would have been the last time I met something in the wild. They're I've just heard so many cool stories. My buddies saw one 10 minutes before I arrived at this hiking trail the other day. And I was, not the other day, but like way back in the day. And I was like, dang it, I wish I could have seen that, because they seem so. I've seen them. They like bring them to schools every now and then. You had like the rescue programs that would bring one to a school on like on a chain when I was in elementary school, and that was cool. But to like see one
in the wild,
there's a picture of one of those, Miguel, up there. It's like crouching from the top of a rock. That's it. And I would imagine that I wouldn't want to see one like that.
No,
that looks like probably the last thing you see.
Because there's people that ride, their bikes in the wilderness.
Yeah, and I do that a lot, and I've still never seen one.
You don't even have to go to the wilderness. I just saw one the other day. Well, not the other day. It was like a year or two ago. My wife always makes fun of me because I'll say the other day, but I mean like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I saw one I was at Wall to Wall, the indoor soccer place in Paso, and I was just looking across. There's like a little, I don't know, valley is a strong word, but it's it goes down and there's a creek and it comes back up and there's houses, and there's just a mountain lion just on the other side, just walking right there next to Highway 46.
He's all, this used to be my house.
Yeah. And the other day we had one in Atascadero. I'm using your version of the other day, but it was like right on Portola and Santa Lucia, like right down the street.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to see it though.
I'm very close to there. I'm on near San Jacinto, and so I mean it's like from my house to the downtown park is like a mile exactly. So we walk there all the time, and there's 2 bears in my backyard, 2 little bears. So we definitely get a lot of wildlife in this area. And I know people see mountain lions all the time, and they're on their property real close to town. Because, on the Nextdoor app, you hear all about it.
Right. Well, it's super secretive. They get away with, like, they can, like, slink through places. They're very aware of it. I guess to see one that's why I probably haven't seen one my entire life, because, like, I guess I'll see one when it wants me to see it.
They know. I live in Santa Margarita, and there is a lot of wildlife in Santa Margarita, and I know there are mountain lions out there. So one time I went all the way across the back. My backyard faces the south side of the ranch, so I crawled over the fence and I walked all the way out there to this creek, and I'm looking around going, if a mountain lion came out, no one would know. So I'm like, I better hightail it back, and I did. But I see I have never seen a mountain lion, but I know it's out there, and bears are out there. I see coyotes and deer. That's the only thing that comes out that'll, out in the ranch that I see.
It's how interesting how many names they have. They've got, I remember when I was a kid, we learned that, there's cougar, puma, mountain lion, and there's something like lightning cat or thunder cat, or I'm not mixing in the 80s cartoon.
Football team.
There was a cartoon called Thundercats when we were kids, but it was something like that. Thunder, did you write it on here? It's probably not in there.
Mills?
Which, by the way, that one did not age well. I don't know.
Thundercat?
I tried to show my kids, and
cougar.
They were just like, what is
the
this?
cartoon?
Yeah, like, especially the pilot episode, they're all like naked. They don't have their armor yet. It is a bit weird, but I loved that when I was a kid.
I watched it in a long time.
I gotta look that up.
Thundercats. Oh.
So the males weigh 200 pounds and the females weigh only 80 to 85 pounds. And the females are the ones that do the hunting, I think. Or maybe that's the African lions.
Is that how the word cougar? Anyway, let's skip that part.
But the males weigh a lot. The females do not weigh as much.
I think it's time there's a male. We got 2 questions for Paul that we should definitely go with. When is Here Away? I'm going to reverse it. When is There Away Vignette coming out?
I don't know. Do you know?
Yes. We're going to be bottling 2 pallets of it on February 17th. And
so right after Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of it. That's only like 120 cases or something. So like that's not is that right? I hope I said that right. 120 cases.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
So we're going to run out.
It's not going to be poured at the tasting room because of that reason. So you got to buy it.
Okay.
And I literally just did the sales reports for I was looking at the different reports over the past almost decade, and I know there hasn't been a lot of Viognier the previous year, so it wasn't a lot of cases there, but all the previous years is like, it's gonna sell. It's gonna be gone. So if you want your Viognier, make sure you jump on top of it.
Make sure you get it. And then you kind of answered this question Does Paul want to make a non-alcoholic wine?
Nope, just grape juice. Get some grape juice. No non-alcoholic wine. It's called grape juice.
Speaking of non-alcoholic wines,
Well, let's taste some wines.
Yeah, we're gonna taste some wines.
That's my favorite part of the podcast. I know we always start with he likes to start youngest to oldest, but we got the non-alcoholic. So it's cool. It's been cold out there. Here, let me give you guys some
I'll
glasses.
pass it down.
I'll give you a glass. And then
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's
for
not
you.
spill it on this couch. But actually,
yeah. Hold that out over the
if
carpet.
If you did, it'd be fine. Okay.
A little bit there. We got the 2023 Mega Focus here. We're tasting both 23 and 22 Mega Focus, as we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast.
And the Mega Focus has...
The Mega Focus is a blend of 68% Grenache in the 23, with 17% Syrah and 15% Mourvedre.
Mourvedre. You say Mourvedre or Mourvedre?
Mourvedre. I like
We had a French
Darren.
guy named Sebastian that worked there. Was it Christian? No, it was Sebastian.
I heard he
believe.
couldn't even say it.
No, he taught me how to say it. He said, Donna, you say Mourvedre or Mourvedre? I said, I'm just going to stop at the D. Mourvedre.
The color is
It's almost like
a plum.
I can really smell a lot of fruit on top of this.
There's a buttload of fruit. Buttload of fruit.
That is the elegant way of saying it.
I'm known for my eloquence.
At the White House, yes, this is the buttful.
I think technically it's a bung load, but
Bung load? Yeah,
bung load.
we've gone through that too.
closer. I like it.
It's really fruity. It's tight at the end.
Super fruity. Extremely fruity. Fruity as, I don't know how to describe it. What do you guys think about it? Come on, honest opinions.
I love it.
You love it?
It's nice and light. It has the fruit forward, definitely, and a little bit of the tannins at the very end, but just tiny bit of tannins, not a lot. What's up, Brian?
Nothing. I thought it was just gonna be like a dead obvious, like no way, like what is this?
What the heck is this?
I will 100% agree with the fruit forward. What's going on with it?
Yep. And a little bit of, so I would pair it with maybe, maybe some soft cheeses with this, like a soft cheese, Brillant Severin with a nice baguette would go great with this.
Patrick, what do you think about this?
It's good.
Wait, not only is it good, it's gone.
It's gone.
Maybe this
found
is not
it.
my area of
He
expertise.
found
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But it's good. That's my official
opinions.
analysis.
That is good. And let's should we do the 22 next
Yes,
or
let's do the 22, then leave the non-alcoholic for last.
All right, 22 coming up. I opened up a little already so that it would be breathing and not just like a fresh crack. Because my understanding is that fresh crack is not the way to go.
It needs to air out a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I did it first.
And wines last, I'd say 3 to, most is fourth day you want to.
Oh, fourth day after opening?
Yeah, and then after, you want to drink wine, but on the fourth day you probably want to
What if you put it in the
finish
fridge?
it.
Can that help? Not really.
No, maybe.
Just drink it. Just
Drink
open
it.
a bottle.
Just drink it.
I'm just over here watching you guys. Like, am I doing this right?
You're doing it well.
I
So
assumed you were like a wine expert, being one of
There are
those.
No,
four-
not at all.
there are
I'm from Paso, so like my father-in-law is from New York. Grew up like you could see the Statue of Liberty from his house. He'd never been there before. It's like that. It's wineries everywhere, and
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I feel like Ben Stiller in Meet the Parents, and he's just like has no idea what they're talking about. And they're like, "How's your portfolio?" And he's like, "It's good to quite good."
Fair enough. All
Well,
right.
here's an easy way of learning about wine. I do the 4 S's. Sight, you want to look at wines underneath like white, just kind of get the color hues on it.
Sound.
Sight. And then swirl.
Oh, swirl. not sound.
So get the aromatics going. It's been in a bottle. And then smell.
Smell. I like that part. That's my favorite part, is the smelling part.
And then sip. That's your 4 S's.
I think this one blows the other one out of the water.
Oh, that's lovely. That is a lovely, lovely wine. This is the
22.
22.
This is the 22.
Paul, the 22 is my favorite. I love it. It's really good.
I'm excited to try the non-alcoholic. I'm super excited. So excited. I'm just going to down this. Here we go.
But the 4 S's is the best way to learn.
Cool.
When you do straight varietals, you'll start deducting.
Okay.
You'll be like, oh, this doesn't look like a Pinot. You know, this doesn't smell like a Pinot. This could be a Cab. So that's how I learned. And it was at a wine bar.
Yeah, I went to 4-H when I was a kid, not 4S. So that might explain it.
Yeah.
That first podcast I was on with you, I after you did that thing,
Yeah.
I started doing that. Game changer.
Yeah, it puts air into when you swirl the wine in your mouth, you're actually adding air to it, and then you swallow. But it took me a while to learn that. Okay, non-alcoholic wine. I'm excited. It's from Italy.
Thank you.
Does it tell you what grape they used?
I think it just said Italy. Let's see. Stella Rosa non-alcoholic naturals are crafted in northern Italy using the finest ingredients and natural fruit flavors. Enjoy chilled. They're served on blah 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 blah. No
mention of
no
the
mention
actual
of
grape.
what type of grape. No.
See?
It's finest ingredients.
Stella Rosa, non-alcoholic, with natural flavors.
Natural flavors. That means there's probably a little bit of MSG.
Yes.
And
You kind of want to stay away from natural flavors in any foods
right.
or drinks.
It's like doesn't everything naturally have a flavor?
Sensing red 40.
Ooh. That smells legit.
I just finished my
I don't
cold.
think I'd know. I would never guess that this was
I can't
non-alcoholic.
really smell this.
You just had a cold.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you, what do you smell?
Dang it! You just had a cold. That's not fair. It's not fair for you that you just had a cold. It's really not.
I know when my cold is over when I can smell the soap in my shower, and I can halfway smell it.
And Patrick's not a big wine like noter, so my experiment.
Do you smell a little like?
It all lands on you.
I'm not. I can't be. I can't because I'm. Okay. Here's what happened. Okay. Here's what happened. I thought that it would be hilarious and also a fun experiment because it's one of my favorite things to do with whiskey, to do blind tastings. So what I did is I took the 23 Mega Focus, poured it into the non-alcoholic bottle, and I took the non-alcoholic wine and poured it into the 23 Mega Focus bottle. So the first wine
I
we
was
drank.
gonna say, okay, I don't know anything about wine, but I do know a lot about Sculpterra, and I've been there a million times. I've never tasted a wine like that.
I know.
The Mega Focus, and I was like,
this is really because I saw the.
but we're on camera, so I wasn't about to say anything.
I
I
know.
saw the effervescent
But that makes
in
so
it.
much more sense.
It does because
Yeah.
I was like, I saw the effervescence in it. I go, wait, Paul's wines don't bubble like that. Brian,
Sorry,
he pulled the wine over our eyes.
I loved when I was doing my whiskey podcast. I love to do blind tastings and like see what was good and what was not. But you're not a huge wine taster, and you got a cold, so it wasn't fair. And then I obviously can't be part of it because I knew what was happening. So I'm gonna have to make Paul do it to me at some point.
That's why you're laughing about.
That's why I was laughing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, it's
Everything
good.
is making sense.
Fruit forward.
It was very
So,
fruity.
yeah, it was.
It's
I mean, to
very
your point, it was
fruity.
like. Wait,
I was like,
cheers.
this is the fruitiest he's ever made any wine. Those Italians.
Yeah. Well,
It wasn't bad.
no, it's not bad.
wasn't bad.
It's definitely not bad.
So that kind of surprises me because I know that's not Paul's profile of winemaking, and it just tasted so different. I was thinking, oh, it must be so new that it's just too young, and I wasn't going to say that either because,
Right.
but this is much better. But I'm surprised that the non-alcoholic wine was drinkable. I mean, because I really thought it was not going to be drinkable. Like, oh, this is not good.
Now I kind of want to be able to do it blind myself too, because just to see if it works. Because the mind is such a, just having it in the bottle, like that's a...
Even suggestion.
The power of suggestion.
The power of suggestion.
Especially when you're really trying to analyze something and taste it. And it looks the same as red liquid.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you guys for participating in my social experiment.
Thank you for fooling us. Yay!
More episodes to come out on the Vino Frankel podcast with Paul. And we're actually going to start a new YouTube channel for the podcast specifically, because this YouTube channel has had there's content on it from way back, and then there was like a whole many years gap between. So we kind of want to give the podcast a new platform, and also just a second chance at, because sometimes when you upload content to an older YouTube channel that hasn't been posting for a while, sometimes it doesn't. So we will make sure that where the links are for that. We'll advertise the new podcast on this original channel. And the thing about YouTube is when you start a new channel, sometimes it gives you a little boost when it's something brand new, for people to get their eyes on it. So that's basically what we want to do. So pay attention to the Instagram, or even just on this podcast, we'll have a link to the new channel. And now that the channel's 18th episode and it's coming of age, we're going to start doing that, and you'll be able to find all of these previous episodes on that channel as well. But we just want to try it out. It can't hurt to try it out, so we'll see what happens. And then
you're also putting it on our website too, sculpterra.com, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in next week, and we'll have Paul back fresh out of the Southland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all take care.